Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing not just a Christmas book haul but also December, because I got a lot of books in December before Christmas, so I thought I'd just wrap them all up into one big book haul. I think I have like 32 books to talk about. These are all the books that I have gotten in December and for Christmas. I also had a Waterstones voucher, so I went into Manchester and bought some books. I did film a little bit of that trip, so I will include it in this video at some point. If you do like this video, please hit the like button, comment down below, and if you hit the notification bell, you will be notified anytime I post a video. 2022, I'm really going to try and focus on getting content out for you guys. I know I've been rubbish with it. I know I started a new job and it just got a bit too much doing this and my new job, but I will try my best to focus and get back to it. So yes, let's just dive into these 32 books. I have so many to talk about. All right. So before I talk about any of these books, I think I might just quickly include my little shopping Christmas book haul adventure. I don't know what I'm doing with you guys now. So here is the footage from my Manchester trip with George. Now that that's out of the way, I am just going to talk about all of my books now, basically. As I said, I have about 32 books to talk about, so I've got a lot to talk about in a very short amount of time, so let's just do it. Okay, the first pile of books is the books that I got when I went into Manchester. So let's start off with, I finally treated myself to Sarah J. Maas, House of Earth and Blood, the Crescent City novel. I'm just going to quickly peel the sticker off. See, I like Waterstone stickers because they come off really easily. So I obviously got Crescent City. I didn't realise that they weren't making hardbacks anymore, and I really want to pick it up in a hardback, but I've been struggling to find it unless I'm willing to pay like £50 secondhand, and I just can't justify that price. So I finally caved and got it in paperback. It's a big book. It's like 800 pages, so it's going to be a bit of a chunker, a bit of a chunky boy to read, but yeah. It's the new Sarah J. Maas big series. Obviously, I read Throne of Glass, I was going to say last year, but it's not last year anymore, the year before, and I loved Throne of Glass. I absolutely loved that series. And then last year I also read ACOTAR, which I did really enjoy, but I did prefer Throne of Glass personally, but I did really enjoy ACOTAR as well. So I'm very excited to dive into this, but I think I will hold off until the next book or the rest of the series is out, because I'm terrible, because I know as soon as I get my hands into this I'm going to want to read the whole series. I don't do well with patience. So yes, finally got Crescent City. I am extremely excited about reading it though, because as I said, I did love Throne of Glass. It was one of my favourite big high fantasy series. I really should have taken all the stickers off before I started filming. That's what a professional would have done. I am not one of those. I then also picked up Paranezi by Suzanne Clarke. Paranezi lives in the house, perhaps he always has. Then messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavements. There is someone new in the house, but who are they and what do they want? Lost texts must be found, secrets must be uncovered. The world that is Paranezi thought he knew is becoming strange and dangerous. The beauty of the house is immeasurable, its kindness infinite. It is doing the rounds on all social media at the minute. It's also the winner for the Women's Prize of Fiction 2021, so it's obviously a fantastic book, and yeah, I really needed to pick it up. I also went into the works, and they obviously have the 3 for £5 deal, which I love, so I picked up Kingdom of the Wicked, which I didn't realise they were selling there, so that was super exciting. I did already get this on Kindle, but I thought it's 3 for £5, like, obviously I'm gonna get it. Again, don't know really anything about this other than that it is another YA fantasy. A lot of people have mixed reviews about this book though, so I'll be interested to see. A lot of people have said it's quite disappointing, but others have said they've absolutely loved it, so we'll see what I think. I have no idea, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. I then also treated myself to the second in the Aristotle and Dante world. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe series. I have the first book, I haven't actually read it yet, so I decided to buy the second one. So this is called Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. I'm just super excited about this. And they just have the most beautiful covers, but yes, super looking forward to reading that. I then also got Spirited, which you can't really see very well. Here we go. And that is by Julie Cohen. So Viola has an impossible talent. Her photographs seem to capture things invisible to the eye. Only a leap of faith could mean they are real. Until one day a woman arrives in Viola's life and sees the truth about her pictures and about Viola. Henrietta is a celebrated spirit medium, carrying nothing but her secrets with her as she travels the country. The moment she meets Viola, a dangerous connection is sparked, but Victorian society is no place for reckless women. Meanwhile, across the world, invisible threads join Viola and Henrietta to another woman who lives in secrecy, hiding her dangerous act of rebellion in plain sight. A bit of a feminist book back in the days when feminism wasn't even a thing, and I love that. I love that kind of breaching into difficult topics. So, and spirit mediums. I love ghosts, you know I love ghosts. Yeah. I also then picked up These Violent Delights, and this is by Chloe Gong. Now I've been wanting to read this for quite a while now, but every time I saw it in the shop I just didn't seem to pick it up, and I don't know why, but thankfully because I got this gift voucher off my brother, I finally was like, yes, I'm gonna get it now. Like, now is the time. It's the right time to get it. Oh, I messed up taking that sticker off. Oh, there's always one, isn't there? I was trying to talk and peel at the same time. Rookie mistake, Amy. So, yes, These Violent Delights. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. A deliciously dark twist on Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling in 1926 in Shanghai. A blood feud between two gangs, and then I'm guessing the heirs of two of these gangs fall in love. Again, I've had very similar to Kingdom of the Wicked. I've heard very conflicting reviews of these two books. You either love it or you hate it. Hopefully I love it, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That sounds really good. I also then got the Spin the Dawn duology. I think it's a duology. I hope it is. I do love a good duology, but if not, I'll probably get the third anyway. So you have Spin the Dawn and then Unravel the Dusk, and it's by Elizabeth Lim. Now I'm just gonna peel the sticker off while I talk because I can't stand stickers on books. I have a thing where I just absolutely love anything to do with Eastern Asian culture. I just find it so beautiful, so rich and diverse, and any kind of books that delve into that, especially into like the mythical history, yeah, I really love. So the covers, for one, are just freaking beautiful. I was really upset. Fairy Loot did like a version of them, and they were just the most beautiful versions of any books I've ever seen in my life, and I couldn't afford to get them. But I've been really wanting them since I've seen those two copies, so I'm hoping that I will really love this series. So it's a YA series. It's about a young tailor who disguises herself as a man in order to go to a royal palace and design gowns for the emperor's bride-to-be, and it's just her trying to make sure that no one discovers she is a man. Kind of getting Mulan vibes from it. apart from killing people, she's making beautiful gowns. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading both of those. And then the last book that I got when I went into Manchester was a new series that I've never heard of, and I just saw it on the shelves and I thought it looked really good. And it is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. But look at the cover. It's so incredibly beautiful. So there's 4 books in this series, you can see. So there are The Grace of Kings, The Wall of Storms, The Veiled Throne, and Speaking Bones. And it looks really fantastic. It kind of looks like there are mythical creatures, but they've been made by humans. If you ever played BioShock Infinite, which it's my favourite game series of all time. I'm a gamer as well, for those that don't know. But BioShock is my favourite game series of all time, and in BioShock Infinite there's a huge bird that is like created by people, and that's what I'm getting off that, if you can see. And then also on the back, you can also see a bird there. And it's kind of giving the same vibes. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's just another really big, high fantasy. This is adult fantasy though, not young adult. Yeah, and I have no idea about it. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. I haven't seen it anywhere on social media. I just saw this first book on the Waterstones table, and I literally was so drawn to it straight away that I just knew. Okay, so that's the first pile of the 2 piles now. And we're back. I don't know why I'm trying to bring TikTok transitions into my YouTube channel, but it's happening, so. So yeah, the first lot of books I'm going to talk about is a series that my mum got me for Christmas, and it is the Shadow of What Was Lost series by James Islington. And there are 3 books in this trilogy. Yeah, and I got it as a box set. Ooh. So there is the Shadow of What Was Lost, An Echo of Things to Come, and then The Light of All That Falls. Yeah, it's just like a big adult high fantasy series basically that I've heard really good things about. Oh, it's got a map, people. Love a good map. A traditional saving the world epic fantasy with a flavour of something new, you'll be left wanting more. Fans of Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson will find much to admire. So apparently it's a coming of age fantasy tale with likeable characters and strong world building. It's literally just what I love. I love diving into big high fantasy epics where you just get completely lost in the world and the characters, and I think that's exactly what this series is going to be. So I'm really looking forward to delving into this big series at some point. Now the next book, I actually read this. I read this not yesterday, the day before. I got this at the charity shop for £1. We love a good deal, and it is Summer Water by Sarah Moss. Now this was one of the strangest books I've ever read, in that there was no plot at all. There was no plot to this book, and I'm not saying that that was a bad thing. It was just really unusual, and I found it a bit like jarring, like I couldn't get really stuck into a plot or a story. So yeah, it was a bit unusual. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I was very tempted to give it a 4 stars, but I did end up giving it a 3 in the end, just because, as I say, I found the style very jarring and unusual. Basically it's about a set of cabins up in the Scottish Highlands. I'm pretty sure it was the Scottish Highlands. And it's basically the story of like 4 or 5 different cabins are all in this like big area, and it's just one day in everyone's perspectives of what happened on that one day. And nothing in particular happened, it was just people living their lives, but it was so, yeah, just a weird book. I did enjoy it, but it was very jarring. Although I will say that Sarah Moss really captured humanity well in this. I found myself relating hugely to a lot of the commentaries, a lot of the narrators basically. She really just captured the essence of humanity so well. I would recommend it, but not if you're a fan of big, like me, epic fantasy stories. There is no plot whatsoever in this book, but it was very unusual. So yeah, Summer Water by Sarah Moss. Very unusual, but fantastic writing as well. The writing was beautiful, but yeah, 3 out of 5. Anywho, I then also got the second in the Poppy War trilogy, and this is the Dragon Republic. Now, I haven't read the first one yet, but I plan on buying the next one. I plan on buying all 3 of them. The Poppy War actually was brought to me by one of my lovely, I was gonna say followers, subscribers, but she's not, she's a friend. She's really wonderful. So she bought me the Poppy War, and then I thought, well, I might as well get the second one, and then at some point I'll get the third. This is one of the most popular high fantasy series. I think that it's been on Book Talk, and I think it's possibly been one of the most talked about series and most hyped up, which I don't know if it's a good thing, because if I don't like it very much, a lot of people are going to be really disappointed, but it's just been so hyped up. I am expecting a lot from this series, and I really do hope that it lives up to the hype. So we shall see if I enjoy it as much as everyone else is. I then got The Lost Apothecary, and this is by Sarah Penner. It is literary fiction, but also a little bit of historical fiction as well. It has 2 timelines in, if I'm not mistaken, about an apothecary in 18th century London. And there's also a timeline from current day London, and it's about an apothecary that sells poisons to kill your unruly husbands. That's what the apothecary specialises in, literally in poison for women to poison the nasty, horrible men in their lives. But that's literally all I know about it. But yeah, I've heard fantastic things about it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I then got The Nature of Witches, and this is by Rachel Griffin. Now, I won't lie, I bought this solely because it had witches in. Love anything to do with witches. The cover, but mainly, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, that under the cover, dust jacket art. How beautiful is that? I'm a sucker for a pretty book. Really looking forward to reading this. It just looks incredible. Kind of sounds like a friends to lovers, chosen one, young witch has to save the world book, but doesn't want her powers. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a fantastic book, and it's just stunning. Yeah, I'm a sucker. I know I'm terrible for it, but it is what it is. And then also, this has been on my radar for an extremely long time, and I'm so excited that I finally have it. And my wonderful mother-in-law, or future to be mother-in-law, bought me this, and it is the Gilded Wolves and the Silver Serpent. Again, the most stunning, beautiful covers of books ever. Just so beautiful. YA fantasy. It's 1889, the city is on the cusp of industry and power, and the exposition Universelle has breathed new life into the streets and dragged up ancient secrets. Here no one keeps tabs on dark truths better than treasure hunter and wealthy hotelier Severin Montagne Alari. When the elite, ever-powerful Order of Babel coerces him to help them on a mission, Severin is offered a treasure that he never imagined, his true inheritance. To hunt down the ancient artifact the Order seeks, Severin calls upon a band of unlikely experts, an engineer with a debt to pay, a historian banished from his home, a dancer with a sinister past, and a brother in arms, if not blood. Together they will join Severin as he explores the dark, glittering heart of Paris. Oh, it's in Paris! What they find might change the course of history, but only if they can stay alive. I did not know it was in Paris. I'm really looking forward to that. A lot of people have said they've really enjoyed it. It's a good classic YA fantasy. Really looking forward to it. These next 2 books I actually bought myself, but I got them at the charity shop, so I got them for £1.99 for each hardback. I got The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This, I'm pretty sure, if it didn't win, it was in the Goodreads Choice Award for thrillers. And I very rarely go for a thriller, but the fact that so many people voted it and really enjoyed it, like, it's got to be good. And I saw it was a hardback in good condition for £1.99, and I could not say no. So yeah, The Woman in the Window, and then the last in that second last pile, is The Last House on Needless Street. Now, I saw this on the Goodreads horror section. It didn't win. I don't think it won. No, the new Grady Hendrix book won, which I do want that. But it was a kind of runner-up, and again, I saw it £1.99 at a charity shop. I really want to read it anyway because, you know, I love horror. Yeah, so I got The Last House on Needless Street, and I'm super excited. So it says, this is the story of a murderer, a stolen child, revenge. This is the story of Ted, who lives with his daughter Lauren and his cat Olivia in an ordinary house at the end of an ordinary street. All these things are true, and yet some of them are lies. You think you know what's inside the last house on Needless Street? You think you've read this story before. In the dark forest at the end of Needless Street, something lies buried, but it's not what you think. It just sounds so good. It just sounds kind of dripping in mystery and intrigue and a good, like, classic horror, atmospheric horror. All right, for my last pile, we're getting there. So now we're on the last big old stack of books. Now all of these books I got way before Christmas. I got like at the beginning of December, but I just, yeah, thought I'd include them all. So I got the All of the Stars and Teeth duology. Now this is by Adeline Grace. So we've got All the Stars and Teeth and All the Tides of Fate. Is a YA fantasy pirate book. There's someone I follow on BookTok who said that this was like her favourite book series of all time ever, so I thought, well, I'm gonna have to pick it up. So George very kindly got me both of these because he's just the most lovely person in the whole wide world. I'm super excited. I love pirates, I love fantasy, and it looks really beautiful. And it has royalty. Uh-oh. Hello, trouble. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading both of these. I then got Vox, which is a adult dystopian book. I'm pretty sure, I will read the synopsis of this because I don't want to get it wrong. So Jean McClellan spends her time in almost complete silence, limited to just 100 words a day. Any more and 1,000 volts of electricity will course through her veins. Now the new government is in power, everything has changed, but only if you're a woman. Almost overnight, bank accounts are frozen, passports are taken away, and 70 million women lose their jobs. Even more terrifyingly, young girls are no longer taught to read or write. For herself, her daughter, and for every woman silenced, Jean will reclaim her voice. This is only the beginning. And at the bottom it says 100 word limit reached. I don't know, it sounds really interesting. It kind of reminds me of The Handmaid's Tale. I really like the sound of that. I think I bought this in like November time. I bought this a long time ago. It is The Witchlings Girl by Elena Coggin. The Witchlings Girl. It just looks really fun and interesting. It's about a young witch who becomes like the town witch and has to live in a specific house, the House of the Dead. There lives the witchling, healer, midwife and conduit between the world living and the world below. A witchling must give up her family and friends and spend her life alone, tending to the sick and carrying the dead down dark tunnels to the underworld. Hayley was born with a gift of death magic, and at the age of 7 her mother abandons her to the witchling to be raised as her successor. But as Hayley grows older and learns her craft, as invading armies pass through her town, people are born and die on her floor and loyalties shift and dissolve around her. She finds it harder and harder to keep her vows and be the perfect and impassive healer, but if she can't, it will be her downfall and that of everyone she's not supposed to love. So good, it sounds really interesting. Again, I said previously, I love anything to do with witches. It's just me, I love it. So yeah, this book really just spoke to me. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Again, I just saw it in Waterstones and I grabbed it. The next book I have is Gilded. Now this is by Marissa Meyer and I'm pretty sure this is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling YA fantasy. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, but it's doing the rounds on BookTok and it's really beautiful. Do not confuse this with Gild. Very similar name, very similar cover. It's got like the cage with the gold and it's called Gild, not Gilded. So don't mix those two up. Gild is a very spicy adult fantasy book. So do not confuse that with this, which is a YA Rumpelstiltskin retelling. Be warned, a lot of people have been mistaking that by accident on TikTok, so consider this your warning. I then also got The Winter's Orbit. Now this is by Everina Maxwell. My fiance actually got me this as well because he's just lovely. The Iskat Empire rules its vassal planets through a system of treaties, so when Prince Tam, key figure in a political alliance, is killed, a replacement must be found. His widower, Janin, is rushed into an arranged marriage with the disreputable aristocrat Kaim in a bid to keep rising hostilities between two worlds under control. But Prince Tam's death may not have been an accident, and when Janin himself is suspected, he and Kiem must navigate the perils of the Iskat court. solve a murder, and prevent an interplanetary war. I've heard fantastic things though. Now I got another 3-part series. Again, my fiance bought me this and I love it so much. It is the City of Brass, Empire of Gold, Kingdom of Copper trilogy. It's by S.A. Chakraborty, and I've heard, again, incredible things. So yes, the City of Brass. I don't know which order this is. I'm pretty sure this is the second and this is the third, but I'll have to check. So yeah, the Kingdom of Copper. The Kingdom of Copper and the Empire of Gold. Another YA fantasy series. I don't know what you expect at this point. It's literally, the majority of things I read are high fantasy series or horror. Or things to do with witches and ghosts. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of people, I know one BookToker said that this was her favourite series of the entire year last year. So again, it's got a big reputation to live up to, and I really hope that it does live up to that. So yeah, I got the Lighthouse Witches. What a surprise, more witches. There's definitely a theme going on here. This just sounds really kind of spooky, airy, gothic, haunting, which is literally everything I love in a book. I will read the synopsis to this because I think it sounds fantastic. Upon the cliffs of a remote Scottish island, Long Haven stands a lighthouse that has weathered more than storms. Mysterious and terrible events have happened on this island. It started with a witch hunt. Now, centuries later, islanders are vanishing without explanation. Coincidence or curse? Liv Stay flees to the island with her 3 daughters in search of a home. She doesn't believe in witches or dark omens or hauntings, but within months, her daughter Luna will be the only one of them left. 20 years later, Luna is drawn back to the place her family vanished. As the last sister left, it's up to her to find out the truth. But what really happened at the lighthouse all those years ago? Yeah, it just sounds like a really spooky, eerie book. I can't wait to read this. And then my very last book is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Cloon. I literally just last month finally got around to reading The House in the Cerulean Sea, again by TJ Cloon. Might be a bit of a giveaway, but I think it was possibly my favourite book that I read last year. If not my favourite one, then really high up. Like, it was one of the favourites, one of my top 10 reads of last year, hands down. I absolutely loved House of the Cerulean Sea. So I'm hoping that this lives up to that hype, but I don't know if it will. I saw this and I read the synopsis before, I think it was like in September before it was out, and I wanted to read it so badly. It's basically about a young man who dies and death comes to reap his soul, and the guy falls in love with death. So he refuses to go because he wants to be with death because he's fallen in love with him. Yeah, and I cannot wait to read this. If it's as anything like House in the Cerulean Sea, which I absolutely adored, then I think I'm gonna really love this. So yes, those are all the books that I got. A ridiculous amount, I know. I'm really gonna try and cut back from buying so many next year, but here we are. This is my December Christmas wrap-up book haul. I really hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and a lovely new year, and I wish you all the best in 2022. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you enjoyed all the book recommendations. I know I've got a lot of reading to do next year, and I cannot wait to really just delve into some of these books. So thank you so much for joining me along this journey, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next video. Alright, bye guys.